Okay, just got up and it's another early morning download. And of course, you might hear in the background people are heading into work. This particular time, there's certain times of the year where they have layoffs, and there's certain times of the year where they're doing extra overtime, and you got more people coming in. And it's one of those times, this time of the year, where you got a lot of people that are doing extra overtime. It's like it's open, it's unlimited, so we got a lot of folks on the road. Um, I mentioned in previous audios about emotional revenge. And I've been on both sides of this. I've been the one who tried to exact emotional revenge against someone that I think that has betrayed me. And I've also been a recipient of people who feel that it's justified to have emotional revenge against me. And I'm going to tell you something. In either case, it's not a good thing to deal with. It's really not. Um, We all have a right to feel what we feel when something happens to us or when we do things to other people. We have a right to feel what we feel. But don't let those negative feelings have you in your head so much where you can't see anything else. And see, that's what revenge does. Revenge clouds your judgment. It's kind of on the same level of worry. Have you ever worried so much about something that you're so laser focused on worrying that thing that you're not paying attention to everything else you got to deal with in your life, and you wind up missing out or messing up on something else? Well, it's the same thing with revenge. If you're so laser focused on getting someone back on something, or you're the victim of somebody getting something back on you, and you caught up in those feelings associated with it, you're not paying attention to all the other shit that's going on around you, and you either wind up destroying the other things by ignoring them, or you wind up, just missing out because you're not paying attention to anything else. Revenge has its own energy, and it consumes you. It'll have you in your head where you find yourself throughout the day, unbeknownst to you, all of a sudden you laser focus on that person or that situation, and you find yourself thinking about that all the time to the point where you're not functional in other areas of your life. You're at work, and you used to do a stellar performance on your job, and then all of a sudden you're thinking this person or this situation pops up in your head, and you start daydreaming and drifting off, and you start making mistakes at work. Now your job performance is in jeopardy, or the relationships that you have around you, because you are so distracted about what's being done and what's not being done and everything else, and you're thinking about how you're going to get back because you're in pain. You're causing strain in your other relationships because you're not emotionally present in that relationship. And people pick up when you are preoccupied all the time. And they don't feel, and if they feel that you're preoccupied all the time, they're going to feel disrespected and ignored, and they don't feel that they don't have any value in their life, and they're going to start pulling their energy away from you because you're distracted all the time. They are. And in some cases, that results in people having affairs, that results in marriages splitting up because you're so consumed with revenge for a certain situation. Or you could be the victim of somebody having revenge against you, so you're going through guilt and self-condemnation to the point where you can't even function in your other duties in your life. Revenge is an image killer. Revenge is a time killer. Revenge is a spirit killer. That's why all of these different scriptures from all of these religious and spiritual doctrines tell you to treat it carefully. Now, there is a difference between karma and revenge. A lot of people don't know the distinction, see? Revenge is an emotion that you feel in your heart. You feel that you need to get back and return the favor. You feel you need to repay the damage that was due to you. And what happens is revenge does not have a limit. There is no limit to it. You might feel that you need to exact this same amount of pain to this person, but then you find yourself that it has an appetite. You relish in it, and you just continue to jab and jab and jab and jab at that person. That person's already suffering and everything else, but it's not enough for you. That's what revenge does. It consumes your level of compassion in yourself. Whatever normal compassion or concern that you had, genuine concern that you had for people, revenge will turn around. If you're so consumed with it, all of a sudden you're not as sensitive to other people's needs anymore, and you have no level of satiety as far as revenge goes. Anytime that you hear any bad news in regards to that person, because of your feelings of revenge and hate, because it's a form of hate, because of your feelings of revenge and hate, you don't feel any kind of concern for them. Now, like I said, revenge and karma are two different animals, and some people get it confused. Revenge is a consumptive negative feeling that'll take over everything in your life if you're not careful. It does not act on reason. Okay? And there are times in our lives where all of us feel that we need to exact revenge on someone. But there are doctrines and there are different things that are shared with us to tell us to allow spirit to handle revenge. Because spirit can administer karma. Karma is something that is due. Revenge is something that is inflicted. I hope that brings clarity, okay? And karma is something that involves energy. If someone has done something to you in a negative headspace and negative energy, and they have not done anything to try to rectify the situation, and they have not done anything to change their attitude or change their life, and they're still operating in that same space, then they are subject to endure the same karma. They're subject to go through the same situation that you went through. The pain that they caused, they're going to get that same pain back because they are still operating in that negative energy. Now, does that mean that a person who's changed doesn't go through some shit after a while? They do, but the level of pain is not, the level of punishment is not as bad because they are in a different headspace now. They can use that as a way to be a testimony to someone else. They could use that as a lesson learned and use that to teach other people. That's what happens when somebody changes their outlook and the way that they live their life. I know this is going a little deep for y'all, so if you have to kind of do this in bits and pieces, I get it. I'm just trying to verbalize it as much as I can because, these things come to me, and sometimes they're hard to say. So just stick with me. I'm not going to be much longer. Revenge is a feeling that is easily out of control and is damaging. No, it is not abnormal for someone to have feelings of revenge after something is done to them that is unwarranted. That's understandable. But when you let those feelings consume you to the point where you take your otherwise normal, blessed life and allow it to mess it up because you're in a headspace, then that's a problem. And unfortunately, there are some people, especially ones that claim to be saved and in the church or claim to be religious, and the first thing they'll say is, instead of just processing the fact that they're feeling revenge against something because they were betrayed, they'll sit there and put on this fake persona and say, oh, well, I'm going to let the Lord fight my battles. Be careful when you hear people say that they're going to let the Lord fight their battles, especially if they're going through some stuff, because they'll say that as a statement to substitute for the real fact that they are suffering feelings of extreme revenge. They don't believe in letting the Lord do nothing in this regard. Deep down, they want to exact revenge. Deep down. Now, like I said, in the beginning, the initial shock, you're feeling those feelings. But if you're running into this person years later, even though the act has been long forgotten, that person has totally changed their life. That person has probably tried to extend an olive branch on more than one occasion, but they have been stomped on and spit on and everything else. And this person, years later, is still talking about that pain while it's still fresh. They've been operating on feelings of revenge all this damn time. And some of y'all have encountered one or two people in your life that are like this. That one person is still complaining about how their cousin stole their boyfriend. Now, mind you, now the boyfriend probably long gone and out of the way. And then you find out later on, anyway, the boyfriend wasn't worth it. So the cousin did you a favor. You don't see that. But the cousin has changed their life around, probably has apologized on more than one occasion, tried to establish a close relationship, and you sat there and you faked the front like everything was okay, but deep down you were feeling revenge. Now, who do you think in this case is going to suffer the worst karma? The person who committed the act and humbled themselves and tried to rectify everything, or the person who's around here pretending like everything's okay and still has revenge in your heart? You guys decide who you think is going to suffer the worst karma. I'm going to tell you right now, it's the second person, because they're not living in their truth. They're not living in their honesty. Okay, yeah, the first person did something they ain't had no business doing. But right now, today, they're living a more decent life, and they've already tried to put this thing to bed. They've already tried and apologized and tried to do good things and be there for that person, and they've tried. See? They have faced the fact that they committed this sin. They have gone to their Creator and asked for forgiveness. They have been forgiveness given. They're being blessed. And on top of that, they're going to the person that they're hurt, and they are confessing and professing that, yes, I hurt you. I want to be there for you. So this person, instead of just being honest and saying, I'm not ready to deal with it right now, they sit there for maybe 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, or whatever, and pretend like everything's okay when deep down they still have revenge in their heart. You mean to tell me that they're not going to suffer any karma for that? No, people. That's a sin within itself. They are living in a false reality. There's karma for that. So if you see somebody that's going through it, the best thing for you to do is don't chase after them. If you issued an apology and got spit on, don't chase them down. They're in a headspace right now where there's nothing that you could do or say to make them think different. They're going to have to go through something else in their life, or maybe the same thing in regards to somebody else. They're going to have to go through some shit before they see the light, because right now they're living in a false reality and in a bad headspace, and it doesn't matter what you say or do. It's not going to change that. So just live your life and keep it moving. And just know in the back of your mind that you tried to put this thing to bed. It's no longer your responsibility anymore, and it's no longer any need for you to worry or concern yourself with. You did the best you could, and leave it at that. Let the Creator deal with them in the way that the Creator wants to deal with them. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. You have a great day, and be blessed.